So you're looking at taking a challenge with FundedNext, which is probably why you ended up clicking on this video. Well, make sure then to stick around right till the end because we're going to be doing an updated review on FundedNext. Adam did a review video about a year ago, so let's see how they stack up against their previous review. Have they got better? Have they stayed the same? Or have they maybe gone down a bit? With that being said, let's get stuck in. Now at this point, I do want to state that this is a completely unbiased review. We do not have any partnership with this company. We're just doing this because we know there are a lot of shady prop firms out there and we want to make sure that you, the trader, does not get screwed. And the reason we can do these review videos is because we have a product called the Prop Farming Blueprint, which uses an EA called Titanex to get people funded with prop firms. So with our community, we have a lot of data because our community are using a lot of different prop firms. So with all the information that we get, we compile this data and come up with these review videos so that you guys can choose the best prop firm for you. So I will be rating them on exactly the same categories that Adam rated them on almost a year ago. This way we make sure we stay consistent. The first one being the rules and regulations. So let's have a look. The first thing I want to point out is they have got a new website. It looks really good. It's clean. It's smooth. It looks techy. I love the dark look about it. I love the colors and it loads very fast and it's easy to kind of like manage and work your way around. So I think that's a good thing that they've actually updated that. So let's go straight to the actual challenges. So the only thing they've really updated from this point of view is they've added a new type of challenge, which is called the Stellar Light, which is similar to the Stellar, but I think you can't go as high. 50K is the biggest you can go. And the only difference is the maximum daily loss and the overall daily loss is slightly lower at 4% and 8%, but otherwise it's the same. But we're going to still look at the Stellar two-step because that's what we looked at before. The reason we're not going to look at the evaluation is because that has a time limit and it also is a phase 1 profit target of 10%. So we're going to look at this because this is more kind of industry standard. Okay. So at this point, I'm not going to go through everything, I think, because, Adam did a very good job before and everything is still the same. For phase 1, they've got the 8% profit target and for phase 2, 5%, which is pretty much the standard. Then you've got your maximum daily loss at 5% and your maximum overall loss at 10%, which again is your standard. Now, the great thing here is they have the drawdown type, which is balance-based drawdown. Now, I've talked about that in another video and I'm going to link that video at the end of this video. So make sure you check it out where I talk about the different types of drawdown and balance-based is definitely the best of those. So that is a great thing. Everything else is the same. The only other thing I want to point out is the $3 per lot. So I want to go over to this website, propfirmmatch.com, which is a great website if you want to compare your prop firm. So if you want to compare, this is the site for that. But what I do want to show you is on this table over here, they have got a column which is commission per round lot. So as you can see over here, you will not see any lower than 3. In fact, $3 per round lot is the lowest you'll see. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because I do want to say they are the lowest in the industry, which is very, very good. Now they haven't changed that. That's how they've been from the beginning, but it is something I wanted to point out. Profit split now you can go up to 95%. Before I think it was 90%. So this is, I think you can work your way up if you hold your account longer, and as you kind of, scale up, you can go to higher profit split levels. So trading leverage is the same at 1 to 100. News trading and weekend trading has stayed the same. They still say that you can use expert advisors and trade copies, but you've got to be careful because there's a lot of rules around that. So you got to make sure you understand exactly what the rules are because they do try to catch you out when you use this. So I think these two, trade copy and expert advisor, are just put here to basically make it more attractive. But I honestly don't think they should be putting it there because for you to actually do these, you've got to actually provide so much in terms of coding. You've got to give them the code and there's so much hoops you have to jump through that's not even worth it. So the other cool thing is you've got a reset code. Once you fail, you can take it again with a 10% discount. So that's very cool. Other than that, everything is the same. The other thing that is still the same is this profit share from your phase challenges. So from phase 1 and phase 2, you get a 15% basically payout, which is very cool. Now, I have not seen this in any of the other prop firms. This is actually one of the things I'm going to talk about later as well. But the cool thing is, I think once you ask for your profit, when you pass and you get your first payout, you can basically request this 15%, which on a 100K account is 1,950 plus whatever you make plus your refund. So, I would always suggest go for a much smaller profit target in your first payout, get a small little profit, take it so you can get all of this and then you go ahead. So I think that's a great thing. That's very good. The only other thing I wanted to point out, which Adam spoke about before, is their spreads. Their spreads still seem to be very competitive. They seem to be, up there with the best in the industry. I did log into their demo and I tested their spreads a little bit and they seem to be very good. The only other thing I would actually point out, which Adam spoke about as well, is this section here, which broker does FundedNext associate with. So FundedNext does not function as a broker or provide buy brokerage service. Instead, we offer our traders with MT4, MT5, and C-Trader trading platforms through two entities, FundedNext, which holds a brokerage license, and GrowthNext, which serves as a trading technology provider. Furthermore, we have established partnerships with several top-tier liquidity providers to create a trading environment that closely mirrors real market conditions. So that's very important, guys. These guys essentially have the power to manipulate. Okay, that's basically what that all means, is they are not. But when Adam did the last review, he actually spoke about how this was actually a hot topic and people were talking about this a lot on the social media sites. He saw this a lot where people complaining about slippage and stuff like that. I have scoured the internet and I've seen the odd thing, but nowhere near as much as it was in the past. So I think this has definitely got better, but it's still something you have to note that these guys have the power to do it if they choose. Okay, so it doesn't mean they're going to, and I think they have got better. So that is definitely good. So overall, I'm actually going to match the mark that Adam gave these guys. I'm going to still give them an 8 out of 10. I don't think they're going to go up or down. The reason is because, you know, some places they've got better, other places they haven't. For example, they no longer allow traders from the US. So that kind of marks them down, but then in other areas they have improved. So I'm going to stick to an 8 out of 10 for that. You know, you can still use MT4, MT5, which is a great thing. So yeah, 8 out of 10. I'm going to stick to that for this category. So let's go straight to the next category, which is customer support and reviews. So from my experience, their customer support has been very good. They've actually added AI support since the last time we did a review. So for your basic kind of questions and concerns, AI responds almost instantly. You'll get an answer very quickly. But if that still doesn't answer your question, you will then be able to speak to someone. And normally within about 10 to 20 minutes, you will get through to someone. So the support is fairly quick from my experience. From what I basically tested, I pretended I had an issue and I actually wanted to speak to someone. And I think it was within about 7 minutes, I actually was speaking to someone. So that's very good. Support is very good. The next thing we're going to look at is obviously the Trustpilot. So let's have a look at that. So I just quickly pulled up the video where Adam did the review, and you can see back then they had 6,663 total reviews and they had 4.7, which at the time was very good. 87% was 5 stars and 4% was 1 star. So let's jump over to now and see how they're doing now. So now they've jumped to 15,158 and their reviews, they've dropped by about 0.2, which is actually not bad considering the number of reviews they've had. They've almost tripled the number of reviews since the last time we looked at them. And actually the 5-star to 1-star ratio is pretty much the same. So that is very, very good. Over the last year, they've maintained their good reviews versus bad reviews, which is really good. To have that over the last year, I think that is very, very good. So that is a huge plus in their favor. So if I look back at what Adam gave them, he was actually quite a low score of 6 out of 10. And the reason being because there was a lot of complaints at that time to do with the live trading conditions. And I actually touched base on that before, saying that there's definitely not as much people complaining about the live trading conditions. And I think it's because the regulators are they have their eyes on these companies specifically for that reason. They're watching out for these companies that are messing around and screwing people when it comes to, you know, manipulating the market. So I think these guys have pulled back. And for that reason, I'm going to bump their rating up to a 7 out of 10 for their support and their reviews. 7 out of 10 is a good jump up from what they had before. Okay, so the next category we're looking at is brand trust and payout proof. So when I'm talking about brand trust, you know, from the beginning, they've actually had these icons from around the world, global leaders cheering for and supporting FundedNext. They've got some big names attached to their brand, which is a big thing. You know, you've got Colin Munro, a famous cricketer. They've got Martinez, a very famous footballer, goalkeeper. And then you've got Chris Gale, which is probably one of the biggest names. He no longer plays now, but he used to play in the cricket in the IPL, a huge name in the cricketing industry. And, you know, so to have these names attached to their brand, I think goes a long way, because if they start screwing people, you know, they're taking these guys with them. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I think when it comes to brand trust, this actually goes a long way to helping trust the brand. Now, in terms of payouts, I know when Adam did the last review, there was a lot of talk about payouts not being given. Now, I think now versus then, that is kind of the norm. You are going to see them fighting a lot more for, you know, giving payouts. I think in general, as long as you're sticking to the rules, making sure you 100% understand the rules before you go ahead. You know, I think there is going to always be the odd people moaning about payouts, but in general, I think they are better than they used to be. I'm not seeing as much issues when it comes to payouts, and their Trustpilot reviews have kind of stayed the same. They're not having as many, you know, people moaning about or giving them 1 star or bad ratings. So I think, from that point of view, I think they've done a good job. I think they've been in the industry now for a little bit longer. When Adam had reviewed them, I think they'd only been around for like a year, maybe a little bit more than that. Now we're looking at, they are kind of in the industry for, I think, about 3 years now, big names. So I think they've done a good job, and I think their brand trust has definitely improved. So I know Adam gave them a 5 out of 10 because there was so much going on at the moment in terms of them not issuing payouts. But I think now they kind of are average. They standard. I think they are probably no better than your average company in terms of not giving payouts or actually giving the payouts. So, I think it would be unfair of me to stick to the 5. So I'm actually going to go to a 6 out of 10 for that. I'm going to improve a little bit, but I think there is still a lot of people that are moaning about the payouts. What the reasons are, it's difficult to say, but I think in general, they've got a lot more people signing up. So, it makes sense that as you've got more people signing up, you obviously are going to see more people moaning that they don't get the payout. So, we can't go into every single thing and say, why they're not getting payouts. So, 6 out of 10, that's what I'm going to give them. I don't want to jump up too high because, I think, we can gradually go. We'll come back again. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. What do you guys think? Have you guys been denied payouts, or your payouts, have you never had an issue with them? I'd love to know, but I'm going to go with a 6 out of 10 for this category. Oh, and since we're talking about prop firms, make sure you go to www.propfarming.com, where you will get more information on our EA called Titanex, which has currently got over 800 of our clients funded with prop firms. This is a product that we have put in over $2 million into to make sure that it is the best AI automated trading system to get you funded with prop firms. So if you'd like more information, make sure you go to www.propfarming.com to get more information and watch the demo. And in fact, we're so confident with this product that if you do not get funded, we will give you all your money back. So what you're waiting for, go check it out. Okay, and finally, the last thing we're looking at is unique perks. So they haven't really added anything new, but they still do have the 15% profit share on your challenge, which is great because, like I said, on a 100K account, that's an extra little bonus of around $2,000 when you get your first payout. So that is huge. And I haven't really seen other companies doing this. Maybe 1 or 2 other companies do this, but not as much as that. So for that reason, I'm going to stick to the 8 out of 10 for the unique perk. And yeah, I'm not going to go in, I don't want to spend too much more time and waste too much more time. But that's it, guys. That's the updated review for FundedNext. And, I think they've done pretty well because after a year, they have maybe improved slightly. And I think that's hard to do because in the last year, it's been a tough year for prop firms. So for a company to either stay the same or improve slightly is a big deal. So I think from that point of view, I think they've done very well. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think they deserved the marks I gave them? Do you think they should have got higher or lower? Would love to hear. But anyway, that's it from me, guys. Make sure you like the video if you did like it, and subscribe if you're not already, because we are going to be doing a lot more of these review type videos. So make sure you also mention which companies you would like us to review so we can have a look at those. With that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.